मद्भागवतस्य यः दर्शयामास जीवेभ्यः तं श्रीजीवप्रभुं नुमः सन्दर्भायेन नाधीता तस्य भागवते श्रमः सन्दर्भायेन चाधीता नास्ति भागवते भ्रमः. So ultimate reality disclosed to Srila Vyasadeva in Samadhi. Okay, yeah, you can read.
Again, Sri Suta Goswami concisely defines the Bhagavatam's essential message, Tatparya, in precisely the same terms. This time by examining the supracognitive trance, Samadhi, of its author, Srila Vyasadeva. Prior to the writings of Srimad Bhagavatam, the ultimate truth, that is, that it intends to elucidate, was directly experienced by Vyasadeva in this state of Samadhi, as expressed in the following verses.
Yes, so so these verses are very, very important. So it is better if you can remember this 4 verse. Like this verse will become the basis of our philosophy. So these 4 verse, and then in the second canto there are 4 other verse which we will see in Paramatma Sandarbha. So these verses are very important to remember. Okay. So again, Sri Suta Goswami concisely defines the Bhagavatam's essential meaning, Tatparya, in precisely the same terms. He will define what is the Bhagavatam's meaning, this time by examining the supracognitive trance, means Samadhi, of its author Srila Vyasadeva. So earlier he examined the Samadhi of Sukadev Goswami, and now he is examining the Samadhi of Vyasadeva. Prior to the writing of Srimad Bhagavatam, the ultimate truth that it intends to elucidate was directly experienced by Vyasadeva. So he directly experienced Krishna in this state of Samadhi as expressed in the following verses. Yeah. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale apashyat purusham purnam mayam cha tad apashrayam yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam परोपि मनुते नर्थम तत्कृतं चाभिपद्यते अनर्थोपशमं साक्षात् भक्ति योगम अधोक्षजे लोकस्य जानतो विद्वांश्चक्रे सात्विक संहितां यस्यां वै श्रूयमानायां कृष्णे परम पुरुषे भक्तिर उत्पद्यते पुंसः शोक मोह भयापः. Okay, then fifth one is new to me. Sa samhitam bhagavatim कृत्वानुक्रम्य चात्मजं सुखम् अध्यापयामास निवृत्ति निरतं muni. Okay, so you can read the first translation you can read.
I can't able to see.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
In his pure heart, which was established in perfect fixity through the yoga of unalloyed devotion, he saw the original. He saw the original complete person, Purusham Purnam, along with his extrinsic potency, Maya, which was apart from and yet supported by him.
Yeah.
Bewildered?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Let us read only one sloka only. So basically, it says in his pure heart, which was established in perfect fixity through the yoga of unalloyed devotion. So how did he saw the original complete person Purusham Purnam along with his extrinsic potency Maya, which was apart from and yet supported by him. So first it says what was the process, like in his pure heart, which was established in perfect fixity. So how it was established? Through the yoga of unalloyed devotion. So bhakti. So this sloka says, Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale. So his heart became pure by this process of bhakti, and he was able to see Bhagavan. So from this, we can understand that only by bhakti we can see Krishna. By other process like jnana or this karma or jnana, we are not able to see Krishna. Only by bhakti we are able to see Krishna. So this is important. Then, okay, then what happened? He saw the original. He saw the original complete person, Purusham Purnam. So he saw the complete person, who is the Purna Purush. But in this sloka, his name is not revealed. Who is he? So later it will be revealed that it was Krishna who was revealed to him. And he saw Krishna along with his extrinsic potency, Maya. So this is important. He saw Krishna and he saw Maya, because many times this Advaitavadis, they will say that only Brahman exists, and this Brahman, when it is limited by Maya, then it is called Ishvara. Like that, they will say. But in his case, he saw Krishna also as real, and he saw Maya also as real. So he saw Maya in the state of Samadhi, so which means Maya should be real, which was apart from. So the Maya was apart from Krishna and yet supported by him. So Maya was apart from Krishna. It means Maya cannot influence Krishna. It was apart from Krishna and yet supported by him. But Maya is yet dependent on Krishna. So the example is given is of a maid servant. So the maid servant is like apart from the king. Like the maid servant uh, um, couldn't enter into the private chambers of the king. Like the king is having his private time with his queens, so the maid servant won't enter there and disturb his privacy. So in that way, the maid servant is apart from the king. Like she maintains a distance from the king, but yet the maid servant is supported by the king. Like she is dependent on the king for her existence. So similarly, Maya cannot touch Bhagavan. Like Maya is apart from Bhagavan, which means um, mm, like Maya cannot enter into Vaikuntha, but at the same time Maya is supported by Krishna. Yeah. So then, yeah. So this was the first sloka. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite amale apashyat purusham purnam mayam chatad apashrayam. So then the next sloka is Yaya sammohito jiva atmanam trigunatmakam paropi manute nartham tatkritam chavipadyate. So this is the second translation. Read.
Bewildered by this eccentric potency, the individual self
Extrinsic.
extrinsic. Bewildered by this extrinsic potency, the individual self, although transcendental to the three gunas of primordial nature, thinks of itself as consisting of the three gunas and thus undergoes the misery resulting from this identification.
Yes. So Vyasa understood that Yaya sammohito jiva. So by this Maya, sammohito jiva, jivas are bewildered. Atmanam trigunatmakam. So they think that we are this body made of the three gunas. Paropi manute anartham, and tat kritam cha abhipadyate. So bewildered by this extrinsic potency, what happens? The individual self, this Atma, the Atma, although transcendental to the three gunas of primordial nature. So although this Atma is transcendental to Maya, but he think of itself as consisting of the three gunas. So Atma thinks that I am made of the three gunas, so I am this body made of the three gunas. Although the Atma is transcendental, but the Atma thinks that we think we are this body made of these three gunas, and thus undergoes the misery resulting from this identification. So all our miseries is because we think that we are this body made of the three gunas. And I think, yeah, yesterday also we studied, right? All these vikaras are having in the kshetra, and this kshetragya is identifying with his kshetra, and therefore he is enjoying or he is like happiness. He is experiencing happiness or distress because of his identification with the kshetra. So, for example, this example is given like one person, like he was a very rich person, and like he bought a new car, like Mercedes car. Okay, so you can imagine that. Okay, you are a very rich person now. Okay, and then uh, uh, like you bought a like nice Mercedes car, and he has a home. He has a home which is on the top of a hill. Okay, so uh, so basically he bought the car. Definitely, the car shop won't be at the top of the hill. The car shop will be down somewhere. So he didn't go himself because he has a driver. So he sent the driver to buy the car. So the driver bought the car, and now he is. So imagine, like you just imagine that you are a rich person, and then you have a driver, and you have lot of money. So you sent your driver to buy this Mercedes car for you. So the driver uh, like bought the car, and now he is driving the car, and he is coming to your house. Okay, and you are seeing, like you are seeing through the, you have this telescope, right? Telescope or binocular. So you are seeing through the binocular that the driver is bringing the car. Okay, so now what happens as the driver is bringing the car, like suddenly uh, what happens, the driver meets with a small accident, like not a accident or something, but he meets with some kind of you can say clash or something, as a result of which this car has got some scratches. Okay, the car has got some scratches, and yeah, so he brings the car. So you are like very excited to see how this new Mercedes car looks, and then when the car comes to you, you see that the car has some scratches. Okay, so now how do you feel?
I have more money now,
Huh?
Prabhu. So I
Uh-huh.
can easily. I have more money now, Prabhu. So I can buy a new car. I can change. I can get it changed.
You can get it changed. Okay. 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 Or take another example that, okay, like you want to buy a bike. Okay. Like let us say you collect some money and you bought a bike, right? Okay. Yeah. So I think the bike has different meaning. In US, when you say a bike, it means cycle. It means the cycle
Yes,
in
yes,
India.
yes, yes.
And
You used to say motorcycle, no, Prabhu?
yes, yeah, and in our time, when you used to say a bike, it means a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do you have cycle?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, okay, but you don't have motorcycle, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, so let us say you did some job, some teaching job, something, and you saved some money, and now you bought a motorcycle, right? So
Mm.
which one do you like? Motorcycle.
Just for the basic need, anything, Prabhu. I like all anything. Just for going there, here and there. Just for transport is enough, Prabhu.
Okay, transport is enough. You don't. Okay, okay. Let us say you buy you bought a motorcycle. Okay, okay, or let's take the example of your cycle only. Let us say you are going somewhere with your cycle. So you like
Mm.
your cycle. Do you like your cycle or you
Yes,
don't
yes,
like?
yes, Prabhu. I
Yeah.
like.
So you are going somewhere with your cycle, and then like you meet with a, like in the let's say the road is crowded or something. So you are stopped. You stopped in the road, but then somebody else came from outside and hit you.
Mm.
So you didn't get injured, like nothing
Mm.
happened to your body. But let's say the one of the tire, like it got damaged, or it got something disoriented, like that. Sometimes it will happen, right? In accident, the tire will be like that. So now
Mm.
how do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I feel sad, bro. I will ask him,
Uh-huh.
please help me. I don't have money. I will ask him, bro, the one who made accident. I feel sad. That's all.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. In your case, okay, yeah, you feel sad because you don't have money to repair. But let us say somebody has money to repair also, but loved his bicycle very much, how will he feel? Like he has a lot of money,
Mm.
he can repair his bicycle, but still he loved his bicycle very much. And uh,
I don't know, Prabhu,
this,
how people will react when they have more money.
okay, okay, okay. Let me think something else. Okay, okay. Let me give you this story. So once, what happens?
So
Once,
what you are trying to say, Prabhu?
yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that, whatever happiness or distress we feel, like that is based on our attachment.
Mm-hmm.
Like if our attachment is less, then happiness or distress will be less. If our
Mm.
attachment is more, so in this case,
I
what
I get
happens is,
attached with only the people only, Prabhu. That much I don't get attached with material things. If
or
some
you get
people very
attached.
close to close to me, if they are not there, I will get so much sad. I get attached only with people, bro. That's all.
Oh, okay.
So that is my weakness. I am
Okay,
emotionally
so
weak. That's the reason, bro.
okay, it seems you are advanced, because in my case, like I get attached to things. So if I have car and my friend says, okay, can I take your car? And I know that this car is insured only for me. So if he takes and he makes some dent, I won't get insurance. So I will see that, no, 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 you better take your car, because if you go and make some accident, so while doing chanting Hare Krishna, I'll just remember that you broke my car.
But you have money now, bro. You can change it now. Or your friends are also somewhat. They have money now, bro. They can easily change it now, bro.
Yeah, they can also easily change it, but then they can buy it also.
Mm.
So,
So why? What is the problem? I don't have attachment, bro. Only the people I have.
mm.
So that's the main reason.
Or maybe once you get a car, then you may get attached to the car. Now you don't have car, so you don't have
Yes.
attachment.
Yes. Maybe that is also the main reason. I don't know, bro.
Yeah. So yeah. So basically, we are experiencing this happiness or distress because of this attachment,
Attachment. Yes.
attachment, or whatever conceptions we have in mind. Like for example, in this story, it goes like a person. Once this person went outside for some work, and then he came back. He saw that there was a fire in his house. Okay, so when he saw that there is a fire, he became very upset that, oh, like my house is on fire. Like I have, this is the whole property I have. Yours fire. So he was very upset. So then what happens? He is like his youngest son comes and says, "Oh, father, don't worry. Our elder brother has sold this house. So anyway, this house is sold, so you need not worry." Okay. So then this person gets relieved that, oh, anyway, the house is sold, so I should not worry. Because earlier he was too much worried, and now if they say that this house is sold, you should not worry. So it is still the same house. The house is on fire, but once he knows that the house is sold, so he just relaxes. Okay, I should not worry. Then what happens after some time? The middle son comes and said, "Oh father, don't you see the house is on fire?" The father said, "Yeah, but the elder brother, your elder brother has already sold the house, right? So why should I worry?" Then the middle son says, "Yes, he has sold the house, but the person has paid only half of the money. He didn't pay the he didn't pay the full money." So now when this house is on fire, then this his father became again, he became stressed out. Oh, this house is on fire. Let's try to stop it or something. So again, he became stressed out. Meanwhile, after some time, what happens? The eldest son comes and he says that, "Oh, father, why you are worrying? I have already sold the house." So father said, "Yes, yes, I know you have sold the house, but the person has paid only half of the money, right? So we are having a loss, right?" Then the elder brother said, "Oh, don't worry, I met the person now, but this person is very honest." So he said, "You already sold me the house, and I already owe you the money. So I will give you whatever money I owe you. I will give to you, because he is like a pakka in his word. So he is going to give back the money, although the house is on fire, but he is going to give back the remaining money." So then when the person hears this, then again he becomes relaxed. So the thing is that the same thing is happening, that the house is on fire, the same thing is happening, but depend on our understanding of it. We either become anxiety, we are either in anxiety, or we are relaxed. So similarly, whatever is happening in the material world, the same thing are going to happen, but based on our understanding, how we perceived it, we can be relaxed or we can be stressful. Yeah. So, so bewildered by the extrinsic potency, the individual self, although transcendental to the three gunas of primordial nature, think of itself as consisting of the three gunas. So when we identify with our body, when we identify with our mind, that's what we think we are made of the three gunas, and thus undergo the misery resulting from this identification. Like when we identify with our mind and somebody says something bad words to us, then we are always in trouble, right? When we identify with the mind, that somebody will say some bad words to us and the mind will get disturbed, and we are identifying with the mind. We are thinking that we are the mind, and we should take revenge. We should take revenge. We identify with the mind, so the mind wants to take revenge, so we should take revenge, and then we are suffering. So similarly, if we see some our friends eating some nice food stuff like this samosa or something, and we are also thinking that okay, I should also eat it, then I will be happy. But actually, who is going to be happy? Like if we eat the nice food stuff, also actually only the tongue is going to be happy.
Mm.
Like we are not the atma. The atma is not going to be happy because the atma doesn't want this material food. Right? Only the body needs material food, and the taste is experienced by the tongue. So the tongue is going to be happy if we eat the samosa. But then we are identifying with the senses. We are identifying with our tongue, and we think that we are going to be happy by eating the samosa. And when don't get the samosa, so we become distressed. Yeah. Okay. So now the next question is that how to get out of this, because we know that. We are suffering because we are identifying with this body which is made of the three gunas, and that's how we are suffering. So how can we end this suffering? So this is mentioned here. Anarthopashamam shakshad bhakti yogam adhokshaje lokasya janato lokasya ajanato vidvams chakre satvika samhitam. Yeah, so this is the third verse.
Shall I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, you read, Prabhu.
Srila Vyasadeva also saw that the yoga of unalloyed devotion to Bhagavan, who is beyond sense perception, is the direct means to extinguish this misery. Knowing all this, the wise Vyasadeva composed this Sattva Samhita, Srimad Bhagavatam, for the people in general who are unaware of this fact.
Yes, yes. So now Srila Vyasadeva also saw, so how to get rid of this misery? So Srila Vyasadeva also saw that the yoga of unalloyed devotion to Bhagavan means bhakti to Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is beyond sense perception. So we cannot see him with our material senses. We cannot see him with the material eye. So he is beyond sense perception. But he can be revealed only through devotion. And this yoga of unalloyed devotion. So unalloyed means alloy means what? Like you have, let's say you have gold, right? But then in the gold you
They
not
used to
gold,
mix,
basically.
yes, in the gold
Yeah,
also they used to mix copper, Prabhu. That is an alloy.
yeah. Yes, yes,
And
and
mercury,
yes,
mercury also they used to, for the tooth decay, they used to give amalgam. No, that is an alloy.
yes. So that is alloy. So unalloyed means pure gold, like
Yes, yes.
nothing is mixed. So that is pure gold. So this yoga of unalloyed devotion to Bhagavan, who is beyond sense perception, the yoga of unalloyed devotion is the direct means to extinguish this misery. So bhakti is the only means. Like uh, if you are not engaged in bhakti, if you try some other self-help books, so these self-help books or other things, they won't extinguish this misery, because in the case of self-help books also we are identifying with the body and mind, and as long as we identify with the body and mind, there will be vikaras in the kshetra, and we identify with the vikaras, and there are two types of vikaras like happiness and distress. Now knowing this, so once he came to know that by bhakti this misery can be stopped, the wise Vyasadev composed this Sattvata Samhita, Srimad Bhagavatam. He composed this Srimad Bhagavatam for the people in general who are unaware of this fact. So people in general don't know that by bhakti we can extinguish this misery. So for them, he wrote this Sattvika Samhita. So now there is one important word in this verse. It's called chakre. It says, Anartho Pashamam Shakshad Bhakti Yoga Madhokshaje Lokasya Ajanato Vidvams Chakre Satvika Samhitam. So there is a word called chakre. So this word chakre is important. So there are two words, like it's called chakre and chakare. So in Sanskrit they have different meaning. So when you say chakare, chakare means somebody did something for the other person. Like let us say there is a beggar, okay, and you give food to the beggar. So you give food to the beggar not for yourself, but you give it, uh, you give it for the beggar, like to help the beggar. You gave food to the beggar. So that is called chakare in that case. But now assume that like today is your birthday and you have your uh, friends, some best friends. So you make some food for them. You make some food and then uh, you invite them to your house and then you serve them the food. So in that case, what happens? You are not giving the food to them for their benefit. I mean, they might be rich people. They might have food at home. Their mother might have cooked food for themselves. So you are not giving food to them because they are hungry or something. You are giving food to them because if they eat the food, because today is your birthday and whatever food you have cooked, if they eat the food, then you will be happy, right? Or, um, or you have any friend or like that?
Krishna Prabhu. No, Prabhu. Nobody will not when I also want to invite somebody, Prabhu. I won't celebrate birthdays, Prabhu.
Okay, okay. Uh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So basically, this word chakare means like you do something not for your benefit.
Yes, yes, I understand the concept, Prabhu. I understand the context.
Yeah, yeah. Or you take in this way that okay, your birthday, you make some food and then you offer it to Krishna. So you don't and let us say Krishna comes and eat it. Okay, okay. Let us take this example that you make your food and you offer it to Krishna, and then Krishna personally comes and eat your food. Okay, eat the offering, right? So then what happened? You didn't give it to Krishna because oh, Krishna is like very hungry and he doesn't have food to eat. So it's not the reason that you gave it to Krishna uh, for uh, like for his
Yes, yes. I feel very happy, Prabhu. So
yeah,
much blessed.
yeah. So when Krishna comes and eat your food, then you will be happy. So you didn't give it to
Yes,
Krishna for his benefit. You gave it to Krishna for your benefit. So
yes, yes.
similarly for this Srimad Bhagavatam, this word chakre is used. So chakre is used means Vyasadeva wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam for his own satisfaction. He didn't
Mm.
write it for other people's benefit. So when he wrote the Mahabharata because he found that Sri, Shudra, and Vaishya they cannot read the uh, Vedas. So for them, he wrote the Mahabharata so that those people will be benefited. So when he wrote the Mahabharata, he wrote it for their satisfaction. But somehow it was not for his satisfaction, and he himself was not satisfied. So Narada Muni comes and tells that, okay, if you yourself are not satisfied while compiling the Vedas and uh, other Puranas, so how do you expect that the people will read your book and they will be satisfied? Because the author himself is not satisfied. So
Mm.
then he wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam, and while composing the Srimad Bhagavatam, he himself was very satisfied because after composing Srimad Bhagavatam, he felt very satisfied. And he wrote it mainly for his satisfaction. To gain satisfaction, he wrote this book. He didn't write it for other people.
Yes,
So we
got
can
it.
understand that the author himself becomes satisfied by writing this Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is like the topmost because it can give us satisfaction also. Because the other Puranas didn't give satisfaction to the author who wrote them. So how can it give satisfaction to us? Because the author himself is not satisfied after writing the books. So how can we be satisfied
So
by
can you
reading
say
the
that,
books?
Prabhu, that Vyasadeva wrote these scriptures for only for his benefits, not for the others, not for the people of Kali
Yes,
Yuga? Can you say, Prabhu?
yes. Yeah, so Vyasadeva compiled the Vedas and the Puranas and Itihasa like Mahabharata for the benefit of the people of Kali Yuga. He didn't write it for his own benefit. He wrote he wrote those things for the benefit of the people of Kali Yuga. He wrote all the scriptures. But finally, when he by but after writing all the scriptures, he was not feeling satisfaction in the heart. So his guru told him to compile Srimad Bhagavatam. So he compiled Srimad Bhagavatam so that he can get the satisfaction in his heart. So Srimad Bhagavatam, he didn't write it for the benefit of other people. He wrote it for to gain satisfaction of his heart. So
Yes, yes.
he wrote it for his own benefit. And of course, so Srimad Bhagavatam gave satisfaction to Vyasadev. So it means Srimad Bhagavatam will also give satisfaction to other people who study Srimad Bhagavatam. So that comes as a concomitant factor. So concomitant factor means like this is not your main intention, but it still comes with it. So while writing Srimad Bhagavatam, the benefit of the other people, like that was not his primary intention. His primary intention was to gain satisfaction of his heart. That was his primary
So
intention.
can we say that, Prabhu, I'm reading Bhagavad Gita and I'm just telling to people like this and that, just for
Yeah,
my satisfaction? Is it good, Prabhu? Just for
yeah,
it, because it
yes, yes,
pleases my heart. I feel satisfied with Krishna.
uh,
I'm very happy. So only I'm saying this, not for
right, right.
not for the people's benefit, just for my benefit. I'm doing this. Like that, can we say,
Yeah,
Prabhu, it is good?
yes. Because for your benefit and it pleases Krishna. So if the people comes, that is a concomitant factor. Like concomitant factor means like something that will follow it, like that will be simultaneous, but that was not the intention. Main intention is that we are feeling happy to say to people about Krishna, and this pleases Krishna. So we are doing it to please Krishna, and the people are coming. That is a concomitant factor.
Okay.
So see, in fact, that is the real reason. Like we are going and telling people about Krishna because we are being happy. Like
Yes,
just
yes.
imagine,
Because we
just
are
imagine.
satisfied, right? So that only we are doing.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
not.
just imagine that we are like feeling very morose when we go and tell people about Bhagavad Gita. We ourselves are feeling like very morose. So then,
Mm.
what is the use of telling? Then it is just like a salesman, right? Like the
Yes, yes.
salesman, you give him
Salesman.
some toothpaste. You give
Mm.
him some toothpaste. The salesman knows that this toothpaste is not good, but still he goes and tell people that it is good. It is good, so that they buy that toothpaste and he gets some commission, right? So if we ourselves are not happy while telling people about Bhagavad Gita, and if we just go and tell people that come to the Bhagavad Gita class, and we ourselves are not attending the class, so it is just like a salesman that you are just giving something which you don't believe. So if we are telling people about Krishna means we should be happy, and that's why we are doing it. And if we are not happy, then how can they become happy by coming to our class? If we ourselves are not happy
Happy,
while
yes,
attending
yes.
the class, attending the class, and we are just telling people that come, but myself is not happy. So how can these people be happy after coming to the class? They will also become like me only, right? They
Mm.
will become morose like me. Yeah, yeah. So this concomitant factor means like let us say it's a cold morning time. It is very cold in December.
Prabhuji, by doing that, if somebody says you are so selfish, you are so self-oriented, you are not doing this for the people's sake, benefit of people's sake, you are doing this for the own sake. If some you are so selfish like that, egoistic like that, people says what to do.
See, the thing is that like people will get benefited. That is the concomitant factor. Like for example, let me tell you what is concomitant factor. Let us say it's a cold winter morning. Okay, like you are feeling very cold. So now what happens? You need some heat to
Mm,
give you some relief, right?
mm,
But at the same time, you are feeling very hungry. Also, you don't have any food to eat
mm,
in the cold morning. So what happens? You don't have any food to eat. So now you will gather some food stuff and you will start cooking the food. Okay, in the fire, in the wooden fire. So
mm,
once you start cooking the food, then many people you will see in the winter, like once the fire is there, right? They will put their hand like this in the
mm,
fire. Like
mm, mm,
you are cooking the food, but then like near the
mm.
food, you are putting
They're
your
getting
hand
some
like
heat.
this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what happens when you uh, like put your hand, then what happens? You will get relief from the cold. So
Mm,
somebody may ask that, okay, why is he cooking? Somebody may ask, why is he cooking? And then someone may answer, oh, he was feeling very cold in the morning, so that's why he is cooking to get some relief from the cold, right?
mm,
So that is not the correct answer, right?
mm, mm,
So that is a concomitant factor. Like he is cooking, so because he's hungry, so he want to eat something, that is he's cooking. But the fact that he gets relief from the cold, that is a concomitant factor. Similarly, similarly, we want to please Krishna. We want to please Krishna, so we are going and telling people about come to this Bhagavad Gita class. So that is the main reason we are telling, because it will please Krishna. and then people
And give
will
some
come.
satisfaction for us also. That is the main
Yes,
reason, right?
yes, and people will come. So that is a concomitant factor.
So if
So
people said you are so selfish, what to do? How to answer for them?
the thing is that the inherent nature of the self is selfish. So that is the nature of the self, is to be selfish. So the problem is not in being selfish. The problem is that when we don't know what the self is, then we identify with the body as the self, and then we do the things which benefit the body, but it doesn't benefit the real self. This is one problem, because we don't know what the self is, so we think the body to be the self, and we do things which benefit the body, but it doesn't benefit the self. This is one problem. And the another problem is that when we identify with the body as the self, and then we do things which benefit the body, then it naturally, like, since the resources are limited, and if we take the resources for our body, then there is a scarcity of resources for other people's body, and therefore they suffer. But then when we identify as the Atma, and we do whatever is beneficial for the Atma, so it is beneficial for the other person also, who is the Atma. Okay, like let me give some example and try to explain. So in the normal case, what happens? In the normal case, we identify ourselves as the body, and selfish means we do things which are benefit for the body. Like, for example, like, let us say there are 10 people, and there are only 5 apples. Okay, so if I get a chance to get the apples, so I will take like 3 of them, and I will eat myself. Okay, so this is called selfish. So what happens because of this selfishness? Because I identify with the body, and the body wants to eat the apple, so I eat the apple. And the consequence is that the other people are also identifying with their body. And when I eat the apple, then there are only 2 apples, and there are 9 people, so they will suffer, right? When I do this thing, selfishness. Now, on the other hand, if I identify with the Atma, right? If I identify with the Atma, then what is food for the Atma? This studying Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, that is food for the Atma. So when I identify with the Atma, then I know that, okay, I can get happiness by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and by speaking Srimad Bhagavatam. So let us say I am speaking Srimad Bhagavatam now, because it gives me so much of happiness. And the other people, the other 9 people, they are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. So I am speaking Srimad Bhagavatam for my happiness, because it gives me so much happiness to talk about Krishna. So I am speaking Srimad Bhagavatam, like, not for anything else. I am speaking for my own happiness. But but since this gives happiness to the soul, so it has that inherent artha that in it. So and the other people are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, and it gives happiness to them also, right? So when we identify with the Atma, then we do those things which are beneficial for the Atma. And since they are beneficial for me, like, I am the Atma, since they are beneficial for me, the other person is also an Atma, so it is beneficial for him also, whatever I do. So the other people are also getting benefited as a concomitant factor. When I am speaking Srimad Bhagavatam for my happiness, the other people are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, but it gives happiness to them also. So in that way, when we identify with the Atma and do things which benefit the Atma, then it will benefit the other persons also. But when we identify with the body and do things which benefit our body, then then we are taking resources, and like, it won't benefit the other person. Now you understand the difference? Like, did you understand the difference?
Yes, sorry, Prabhu, I got muted. Yes, Prabhu, I understand the difference.
Yeah. So there is no problem in becoming selfish. Actually, it is the nature of the self to be selfish. But we don't know what the self is, and we identify with the body, then we run into all the problem. But if we identify the self as the self, and then do whatever is good for the self, so since I am the self and you are the self, so whatever is good for myself is good for yourself also. And when I do that, it is automatically benefits you also.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So then the next verse
I
says,
don't know why Krishna is making me to hear this and all, Prabhu.
why?
Why Krishna is making me to hear this and all from you, I don't know, Prabhu.
Oh,
Because
because you are very. you are very sincere. So Krishna wants this knowledge to come to you. Yeah.
Because it is
So
based on the self, no, Prabhu. Because you are feeling satisfied by reading this, so you are reading this and by.
yeah, so basically I am reading this for my own satisfaction only. And so when you come here, I get somebody to talk to, because otherwise I am just talking about politics or something, or what happened in this ISKCON temple, or which person, which
Ran away
sannyasi
with
got
another
married.
woman.
Yeah, so that's what I'm discussing. So when you come, then I discuss Srimad Bhagavatam. So it gives so much satisfaction to me, and you also become happy as a concomitant factor. So then this one. यस्यां वै श्रूयमाणायां कृष्णे परमपुरुषे भक्तिरुत्पद्यते पुंसः शोकमोह भयापः. So this verse is very important. Yeah, read this verse. Indeed,
Indeed, the very act of respectively and attentively hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti to Sri.
receptively, like receptively.
Yes, yes, sorry, bro. Indeed, the very act of receptively, receptively or receptively?
Yeah, receptive.
Receptive, okay.
Receptive means with attention. Yeah.
Receptive, okay.
Yeah.
Indeed, in the very act of receptively and attentively hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhakti to Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person, self manifest in a person's heart, dispelling lamentation, illusion, and fear. Bhakti here refers to devotion in its completional stage as prema.
Okay. Yeah. So indeed, saying indeed, in the very act of receptively and attentively hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam. So if we hear the Srimad Bhagavatam attentively, then that information will come. And receptively means when we hear that knowledge, we have to accept this knowledge. Like sometimes we may hear but think, oh, no, this is not correct, this is not correct. Like first of all, if you are not paying attention, then the knowledge itself we won't hear, right? Our mind is somewhere else, we won't even remember what was said. But let us say we are putting attention, then the knowledge will come. But if we are not receptive, like we hear what the speaker is saying, but we'll say, oh, no, this is not correct, oh, this cannot be like this cannot be like this, we are not receptive, then even the knowledge we hear, but the knowledge comes, but it won't enter into our heart. But if we do it both attentively and receptively, then what happens is that the Supreme Person self manifests in a person's heart. So Krishna will manifest. Or then what happens? Then this thing, bhakti to Sri Krishna, the Supreme Person. The Supreme Person is Sri Krishna. So bhakti to Sri Krishna is will self manifest in a person's heart, and dispelling lamentation, illusion, and fear. So all his lamentation will go away, all fear will go away, all illusion will go away. So the question comes that how can lamentation, illusion, and fear will go away? So it can go away by bhakti only. And then how do we um, get that bhakti? By attentively and receptively hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, we get this bhakti. So that's what we need to do. Just attentively and receptively hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and then all the lamentation, illusion, fear, everything will go away. Like in the case of Bhagavad Gita, once you learn the Bhagavad Gita, you have to follow everything in your life. Then your fear, lamentation, everything will go away. But in the case of Srimad Bhagavatam, if you just sit and hear, just Parikshit did, you just sit and hear, by hearing itself, it will go away. Yeah. So now, yeah, but it doesn't mean that we don't have to study Bhagavad Gita. It doesn't mean that, but it just glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam. So bhakti here refers to devotion in its completional stage as prema. So, but of course, to go from this, in the case of Srimad Bhagavatam, also when we are hearing, so first day you go and hear, it won't go away. Like it will, for us, it will take some time to hear and then it go away, because bhakti here refers to devotion in its completional stage as prema. So here bhakti means prema. Like devotional has like 9 stages, right? Shraddha, sadhu sanga, bhajan kriya, anartha nibritti, nishtha, ruchi, asakti, bhava, prema. So here bhakti refers to prema. So when we reach on the completional stage prema, then everything go away. Actually, yeah, after anartha nibritti, like once we reach the nishtha, so once the anartha nibritti is like, these are called anarthas. So once we cross the anartha nibritti and reach nishtha, then this go away. Yeah. So what did he do? Yeah, the next verse is that what did he do after?
After composing and revising Srimad Bhagavatam, Srila Vyasadeva taught it to his son, the great sage Sri Shukadev Goswami, delighted in the state of utter non-attachment.
Yes. So then he taught it to his son, and he taught it to his son because his son was in the state of utter non-attachment, like he was not attached to anything material. Because when you are attached, then only we'll get anger, right? Because we don't get it, we get anger. Or if you are attached, we want something, we'll get greed. And if you don't get it, we become anger. So his son was not. His son was like free from, and then if somebody else took it, then we will become envious. So his son was free from this jealousy, like enviousness, and then greed and anger, all this thing. So he gave it to his son. So in our case also we hear the verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, but Krishna doesn't self-manifest in our heart because we are infected with envy. So that is the reason Krishna doesn't self-manifest. But he was like all free from all these things. So he just heard Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna manifested in his heart. So hmm, yeah, so Shaunaka Rishi then inquires because in this verse it is said that he was in the state of non-attachment, right? So he was in the state of non-attachment. He was not attached to anything. So Shaunaka Rishi is now asking here. Yeah, this one. Read this one.
Sri Shuka Goswami delighted in the state of utter non-attachment and was thus indifferent towards everything. He was a sage, enraptured in the self alone. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast book?
Yes. So now this Shaunaka Rishi he got a question because Shaunaka Rishi is hearing this thing from Suta Goswami. And who was Suta Goswami? When Sukadev Goswami spoke the Srimad Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit, then Suta Goswami was one sage who was sitting in the audience. So Suta Goswami heard the Srimad Bhagavatam from the lips of Sukadev Goswami, and now Suta Goswami is giving this knowledge to another assembly where there is another rishi by the name Shaunaka. So Shaunaka rishi is asking that, okay, you said that Vyasadeva gave his this knowledge to his son Sukadev Goswami because he was delighted in the state of utter non-attachment. So he was not attached to anything, but he was very happy because he is enjoying in the Atma. So he is enjoying in the Atma. He is very happy. He is not attached to anything. So if he is not attached to anything, then why did he take the trouble of studying this big book, right? Because if you have to study a book, like you have to sit in one place and then read under a teacher, like there is a lot of trouble. So why did he take the trouble? And generally, we take a trouble because we think that we will get something out of it, which will make me happy, right? Like for example, like let us say tomorrow you have to go to some government office and stand in line for like 5 6 hours, and then you will get a job done, right? So you will take so much trouble because you think that once you get the job done, you will get something which will make you happy, or or it will remove your misery. Like let's say in our days, I remember like not now, like before 20 years, right? If you have to pay the electricity bill, you need to go to the you can't pay from home, so you need to go to the electricity office, and there will be such a long queue. So you are just standing in the queue for 2 hours just to pay your bill only. Yeah, and once you pay the bill, you become happy. Why? It's not that there is something positive about paying the bill, but if you don't pay the bill, then your electricity will be cut, and then you will be in a miserable condition. So you want to avoid the misery, and therefore, when you pay the bill, you are very happy. But in the Sukadev Goswami's case, he was not in a state of misery. He was already happy, right? So he was already happy, and he didn't have anything more to get. Like he didn't have any more happiness to get. He didn't have any misery. He was already happy. So why did he take the trouble to read the book, right? Sri Sukadev Goswami delighted in the state of utter non-attachment and was thus indifferent toward everything. So he was indifferent toward everything. Like he was not interested in anything of this material world. He was indifferent. He was a sage unraptured in the self alone. So he was enjoying. He was enjoying in the Atma alone. So happy. So why did he take the trouble to undergo the study of such a vast book. So when you have to study, you have to sit and then study under a teacher, and basically studying is a difficult job. So why did you take the trouble to undergo the study? So did you
Mm.
understand the question now?
Yes, yes, I understand, bro.
Okay. So what do you think is the answer?
The answer will be because if he is so selfish, too, because he needs some kind of satisfaction in his life.
No. What do you say?
He needs some satisfaction in his life.
No, he didn't need any satisfaction. He was already Brahman. He was
Brahman
already
realized, yes, he is very
yeah. He was,
unattached.
so
So
he was very
why?
happy. Yeah, he
Mm,
was very happy. He was very happy.
to know the
He was
absolute,
already.
Prabhu. To know the
Uh-huh.
absolute. To know the absolute.
But why do you have to know the absolute?
Because to reach
Because
the, because he, to be immortal, Prabhu. Because he is having this material body, right?
no,
He is
but
going to
but
be
but but
immortal.
but he was already in the Brahma Bhuta state. So once he leaves this body, he will achieve the Brahma Nirvana. So he will become anyway. He will become immortal.
Don't
Like
know,
you see,
Prabhu. Let's.
mortality refers to the body, right? When you
Yes,
identify
yes.
with the body and mind, then you think that you are mortal because the body is going to die. But he was
Mm.
not identifying with the body or mind. So anyway, he has achieved that immortality, right? So why did you take the trouble to study the book?
To explain to us, Prabhu.
But why do you have to explain to us? Why do you have to explain to us?
Because he has a desire something, to take something.
Uh-huh.
Because he is always satisfied.
Yeah.
There is some. There we need a change, no, Prabhu. So only he took that such decision.
Who? See, we need a change because we are not happy. Because if we are happy with something, we don't need a change. Like for
But
example,
but for example, Prabhu, if you are always happy, it will be interesting.
huh?
If you are always
Yeah,
happy,
yeah. That's what happens in Vaikuntha. So Vaikuntha means Kuntha means distress. So
mm,
Vaikuntha, like there is no distress. They are always happy. Like for example, if your child, like he's so happy, he's like shouting in happiness. So does the child think that, oh, now I have become bored of
but
happiness? So let me
doing
undergo
the
this.
same thing for so much long time, it will be boring, no, bro. Sometimes we need something like
No, no. See,
adventure,
see,
no, bro.
it becomes boring for us because we don't get happiness. So in the material world, happiness is not in the material things. Like for example, if you eat a bubble gum for the first time, you become happy.
Mm,
Then after that, like let's say you take it out and keep it in a plate, okay. And then after 1 hour you again take and eat the same bubble gum. Then you don't feel happy,
mm,
right? It's called chewing the chewed.
mm,
So
mm,
we don't feel happy, or maybe somebody gives you a new bubble gum also,
mm,
but you won't be happy. Like let's say you eat one gulab jamun, you are happy.
mm,
After some time you eat the second gulab jamun. This time also you are happy, but your happiness is less. Then after some time you eat a third gulab jamun. So this time your happiness is even less. Then fourth
mm.
time you eat a gulab jamun, you don't become feel happy. And then if somebody gives you a fifth gulab jamun, you said no, already I have enough. I don't want to eat more. So in the material world, the happiness is not in the gulab jamun, because if the happiness was in the gulab jamun, then once you are full, then also you should have felt happy, right? So the happiness is not in the gulab jamun. When you are hungry and you eat something, you feel happiness. So happiness is not in the sense object; it is in the senses. But in the case of spiritual, it is not like that. Like happiness is there in the atma only. So when he's connected with the atma, he's getting happiness. So nobody gets bored. Like nobody gets bored of happiness. Like if somebody is happy, like blissful, like that's what you can say. The nature of the soul is to experience ananda. If somebody is experiencing ananda, then he doesn't have anything else to do. So why do you think he undergo the study
I
of
don't know, bro.
book?
Let's let's hear from Sudha Goswami itself.
Okay. So Sutta Goswami says this thing. So this verse is also very important. Atmaram verse. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained, I think, 62 meanings of this verse. Okay. He says this
Shall I
one.
start, Prabhu?
Okay, let me just read the verse. Yeah. So he says this. Hmm. Atmaramascha munayo nirgrantha api urukrame kurvanti ahaitu bhaktim itham bhuta guno hari, and then hari. Okay. Yeah, you did the verse. Yeah,
You just only read two verses, Prabhu. Two lines only you read. You have
yeah,
not
yeah.
read the.
Yeah. Let me read the other one. Yeah, let me try. Harer gu. Okay, it should be down. Harer guna क्षिप्तमतिर् भगवान् ओ हरेर् गुणाक्षिप्तमतिर् भगवान् बादरायण हि अध्यगान महद आख्यानम नित्यम विष्णु जनप्रियः. Okay.
The sages, though freed from the knot of egoic identity and through delighting in the self alone, engage in costless devotion to Sri Krishna, the mystic player, Guru Karma, Guru Krama, such as the enhanced qualities of Sri Hari, his consciousness, captivated by Lord Hari's qualities, Sukadeva, the powerful son of Vyasadeva and ever beloved of the Lord's devotee, invented the study of this great book, Srimad Bhagavatam.
Yes. So the reason is given here. Atma Ramascha Munayo Nirgrantha Piurukrame Kurvanti Ahetu Kim Bhaktim Itham Bhuta Gunohari. So the sages, although freed from the knot of egoic identity, so egoic identity means they do not identify with the false ego, they do not identify with the body. So they are freed, but although they are freed, and though delighting in the self alone, so they are delighting in the Atma alone, they get happiness from the Atma alone, still they engage in causeless devotion to Sri Krishna. Still the sages will engage in devotion to Sri Krishna, who is the majestic player, Urukrama. So such are the entrancing qualities of Sri Hari Krishna. So this is the quality of Sri Krishna. That although the sages, because the sages have given up this ego, so they are and not identifying with the body mind complex, and they don't have anything material to gain in this world, but still they engage in causeless devotion. So it means that the qualities of Sri Hari are not material. Because if the qualities of Sri Hari are material, then they will not be interested to hear about the material qualities, because they are already given up everything in the material world. So they won't be interested, and they are getting the bliss of Atma. So the bliss of Atma is more than what you can get from any material thing, right? So if you are giving up that bliss of Atma to get something different or something new, then the new thing must give you more bliss than the Atma. And this new thing cannot be material, because any material thing cannot give you more bliss than the Atma. So the only thing which can give you more bliss than the Atma is the Paramatma. So that's why they give up this Brahman realization, and they are uh, interested to hear the qualities of Sri Hari, because the qualities of Sri Hari are transcendental, and by hearing the qualities of Sri Hari, the bliss which we get is more than the bliss of Brahman realization. So that is the answer. So his consciousness captivated by Lord Hari's qualities.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
Guruji has started the English Tamil class.
Oh, started. Okay. Yeah. Let us read this last verse and finish. Yeah. So his consciousness captivated by Lord Hari's qualities, Sukadev, the powerful son of Vyasadev, and ever beloved of the Lord's devotees. So he was very dear to the Lord's devotees because he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. So the devotees liked Srimad Bhagavatam very much. So he spoke. So he is beloved of the Lord's devotee. He underwent the study of this great book, Srimad Bhagavatam. So he underwent the study of this great book because he found that the happiness by hearing the qualities of Lord Hari, the happiness which we got was more than the happiness of Brahman realization. So that is why he take the trouble to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, Prabhu, we can end here, and so we will read after 12 hours. Yeah. Okay. Okay then. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So when you will start reading next, Prabhu?
Yeah, we'll start reading after 13 hours.
Okay, Prabhu.
This class end. Okay. Okay then. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So Prabhuji, I want to ask. So how you are memorizing this, Prabhu? I can't able to read even the Sanskrit verses. You know Sanskrit earlier, Prabhu.
Oh, no. I heard it for many years, right? So you don't worry. Over a period of time, you'll get it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, the English is written there down. So if you read the English over a
Okay,
period
okay.
of time.
So for how many years you are learning this Guruji's attending Guruji's class, Prabhu. So you learned most of the thing from whom, Prabhu? From our Guruji or from your Bhagavatam teacher?
This the slokas in Bhagavad Gita I learned from our Guruji, and the slokas in Srimad Bhagavatam I learned from the Bhagavatam teacher.
By hearing the same thing, you came to understand, right, no, Prabhu? For how much years
Yeah,
you are hearing?
Bhagavatam teacher that I think from 2015 I'm hearing.
Okay, Prabhu.
So
Four
yeah,
and a half,
so
4.5 years, and this Bhagavad Gita, Prabhu.
to 2015 means, yeah, 2015 means like 2016, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and yeah, 2000, now it's 21, right? So 2021, this, yeah, so it's yeah, like, yeah, 5 years, little bit more than 5 years. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhu.
Okay, then Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, Prabhuji,
And
so what we have